me, oh God, I know my heart, I pray, try me, oh Savior, no. See if there be some wicked ways in me, cleanse me from every sin and set me free. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and you leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must burn the searchlight inward. If you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and you leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must turn the searchlight inward. If you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and you leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you better turn the searchlight inward. And if you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Search me, oh God, I know my heart, yes. Try me, oh Savior, know my thoughts, I pray. See if there be some wicked ways in me, oh, cleanse me from every sin and set me free. If you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must turn the searchlight inward. And if you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take
A good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 4 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. Yeah.
if you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord.
Somebody says about now, so Judas was betraying Christ. Yeah, this is about now, so yeah. I don't know the hour. Good night to each and every one of you joining the program tonight. Those of you joining via Noise Radio 94.9 out there in Brooklyn, yeah. Also remember to check out their app, We Noise. Those of you who will be joining via 92.9 Sister Isle FM. Those of you listening on the Sister Isles via social media, we say a special good night to all of you.
Me, oh God, I know my heart, I pray, try me, oh Savior, no.
So let me say a good night to all of you who are on the live on the Facebook.
If there be some wicked ways in
Teresa Frederick, Linda Imelda Francois,
from me,
Evelyn Narayan, Peter Stryker Lewis, Meryl George, yeah.
oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of
Sunny Isle, Ingrid Bourne, Anna Lewis.
Away from the poor man, and you leave them just.
Evelyn Narayan, Yvonne Courtney, Laslyn Douglas, Marita Telesford, Tegwa Tegwa.
You must earn the search like you want. If you want.
Brother Claude Abraham, Kenrick Gibbs. Kenrick Gibbs, good night, sir. Nice.
Oh, if you are.
Kenrick Gibbs, a special good night to you and your wife.
And you leave because.
Soup!
If you take away from the poor man.
Evelyn Narayan,
Just
Ingrid Bourne, I see you dancing.
if your life not in line with the will of God, you must earn
Winnie Simon, Gemma Thomas, I see Kieran Regis.
to
Yeah.
get it, my friend. Live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are.
Edlin David, John Marcus, Cicely Celestine, Dennis Fabrio. Let me go down the road there. Yeah. Teresa Colemona, Keisha Jones. And let me see Landon Jane, good night. Maudlin Bartholomew, a special good night to you. All of you under the live on Facebook, remember to like and share. Like and share the live. That's how we get it to show up in other people, on other people's pages and so on. We've got to like it. We've got to share it. And when we share it, all of our friends, if we have 5,000 friends, all our 5,000 friends could be notified that we've shared it, yeah? And once we've gone live and we do that, yeah, nice. Thing to, you understand how the thing does go? All right, nice, right. And you could also share it to your stories too, so people can see it there as well. Lovely.
Wicked ways in me, oh, cleanse me from every sin and set me free. If you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must earn the search.
And let me turn to the YouTube now. Let me see who's on the YouTube. And let me see. Alban Harris, good night to you. Lisha Abraham, Claude Abraham, Phyllis Mitchell, Jada Benjamin, Debbie Seals, good night to you. Ashma Charles, Jacinta Livingston, Errol Bonaparte, Jackie Raymond, Janice Mitchell, Agnes Henry, Deborah Laborde, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, good night. Francis George, Maria Noel, Sherma Jeremiah, Arlene Fletcher, Baby Daddy, Faithlyn Holly Douglas, good life. Carib Spice Fitness, good night to you. Jay, good night. Gloria Francois, Patsy Frank, Kathleen Knight, Sandra Joseph, Dennis Bain, Dolores Redhead, Clive Raymond, Ann Andrews, Liza Bernard, Miriam Samuel. Miriam, what's up? Yeah, I make it. Elvin Noré, Ron Julian, Fitzroy Phillip, Karen Williams, Red Girl Pascal, Robert Edwards, Dominic Antoine, Velma Pascal, Anna Lois, Hugh Douglas, and let me see, Dennis Bain, yeah, from Washington, D.C. We say a special good night to you, bro. Brandon Joseph, Wilfred Antoine, April Fletcher, Vanessa Lalji, Henry Shaitan, Kathleen Ledlow, Jocelyn Matheson, and Sherma Alexander, Claire Superville, Michelle Alexander, Oswald Belfront, Sandra Joseph. Yeah, boy, what? Yeah, let me see where. Desiree Joseph. Right, Sandra Pascal, Gemma Ward, Amia Worm. Yeah, good night. Anastasia Worm, good night.
To make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because
So he's saying a special good night to all of you joining us.
take away from the poor man
Folks, remember we've got some activities coming up, eh?
to suffer. Oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you better serve the search like in word. And if you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Search me, oh God, and know my.
So first of all, remember the breakfast sale that's going to be taking place, the various breakfast sales that are going to be taking place this Saturday. All right, yes. So we have the first one there. That's going to be the breakfast sale by the St. Patrick West constituency branch. They are having that breakfast sale this Saturday, starting at 6 a.m. until they've got saltfish, they've got smoked herring, they've got stewed turkey, they've got roasted and fried bakes, cocoa tea, Tanya log, fruit juice. And remember, all proceeds are going towards the fire victims out there in Shantimel. So that's taking place this Saturday down there at the Sauters bus terminus. Well, up there because we're down here. So it's up there at the Sauters bus terminus. All right. So the eye clinic, that done. Right. Yeah, the eye clinic done today as far as I know. All right. So the New National Party St. George Northeast constituency branch, the women's arm of that branch, they are having their breakfast from 6 a.m. this Saturday, and it's going to be in front of Republic Bank on Melville Street. So we look forward to that one as well. All right, folks. Yeah, that's the St. George Northeast women's arm of the New National Party. They're having that breakfast sale. You're getting it for 10, you're getting it for 12, you're getting it for 15. But if you have under the 10, go find something to handle you. Don't worry. Yeah, all comers will be served. Just come through. Nice. So that's in front of Republic Bank on Melville Street. Head on out there and check it out on Saturday morning. You know, when you go to get your additional your mackerel and thing that you didn't get for tomorrow. And so, yeah, when you go and you get your thing for Easter Sunday, and so you're passing in town early to get your fruits and vegetables. Yeah, just make sure you pass on. Right. So after that, you can head on up to PD4 Village Group up there in St. David. That's at Volley Gap. They're having their barbecue luncheon. So it's going to be barbecue pigtail, $20, $15 for the barbecue chicken. So that's in Volley Gap, Windsor Forest. And that's going to be taking place from 11 a.m. That's going to be taking place on Saturday. All right. The next New Dimensions, they've got their cake sale that's taking place this Saturday as well. So at the Panyard on Melville Street, so you could make a little pass through, buy a little piece of cake, buy a whole cake. In fact, buy a whole cake and go and share it out. And yeah, man, give people cake, right? So next New Dimensions, yeah, it's having young people involved in a positive activity, involved in music and so on. Anytime you pass there, you recognize the volume of young people, and I'm speaking of people under the age of 20 that are there playing steel pan. Yeah, involved in a positive activity. They could have been doing all sorts of other negative things out there, but these young people are involved in a positive activity, and as such, they need to be assisted by any of us that can assist. So those of you that are in town on Saturday, after you go and you get your breakfast from the NNP Women's Arm of St. George Northeast up by Melville Street, pass by Nexa New Dimensions. Make sure you buy a piece of cake, a half a cake, a quarter of a cake, or a whole cake if you can. All right? And support the young people, support the pan side. It's good to have. You should be encouraging more young people to become involved in activities like these. So they'll be there. For further information, call 406-6519. Then the day, Sunday, all roads lead to Grand Mall Playing Field. All right? And it starts from 11 a.m. It's the NNP Big Lime. So they're going to be having music, games, food and drinks on sale. All sorts of things going to be taking place up there. That's the NNP Big Lime up there at the Grand Mall Playing Field this Sunday starting at 11 a.m. All right, folks? So, yeah, looking forward to meeting and greeting you all there. Right? Nice. And then on Monday, Easter Monday, D&G in conjunction with the New National Party present their garden party. And that is going to be taking place at 1 Shaney Lane, Lansopine, St. George, right after the University Club. Right? Exotic food prepared by professional chef and premium drinks. Music by a live band. The activities start at 5 p.m. and they go up until 11. I tell them, I'll just say 11. I know you think will go up until 12:1. But anyway, 5 until 11. And tickets cost $300. And for couples, of course, you're going to charge $500. So single, $300. Couples, $500. Come on out and support. All right, nice. And then the NNP Carriacou and Petit Martinique branch, they've got their Spring Fever brunch coming up. That's going to be on the 21st of April from 12 p.m. And it's going to be taking place on 302 East 91st Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11212, Lenox and Clarkson. All right, they've got various things on the menu from Escovitch fish, barbecue chicken, curry chicken, stew pork, rice and peas, roll rice, cuckoo, lo mein, macaroni pie, stew peas, garden salad, and so you can contact Jacket Man. Good night to you. And my St. Lucian friends. Hey, Sandra, St. Lucia. Sandra, you had to tell me what part of St. Lucia you're from, girl. Yeah. And Nisha, at 347-683-1997. Jacinta, 917-615-4918. Wilson at 917-754-1319. And Tanti Merlin at 718-419-5039. Of course, they're going to have an ice cold bar there. It's going to be a nice one. Head on out to that activity. Let me let you also know that the folks who are doing the breakfast sale, that's the Ford Village Group, they had to postpone due to very unforeseen circumstances. They really couldn't go ahead with it. So they had to postpone the activity from this Saturday, but they will give us the information to when it is shifted to. And let me say a special good night to Mr. Vernon Joseph and Miss Marilyn Joseph. Hope you all are having a wonderful night tonight. And of course, I can't go ahead without saying good night, Zayla. Good night, Xavier. Good night to you, Deshaun. Good night. Yes, I see the message. Ford in the house. Good night to you, Deshaun. Good night to you, Neela and Namara. Good night to you, Zoe. Yeah, if I don't do that, I'm in trouble, when them children meet me, they just tell me about it, Yeah, you know what I have to go through with them children and them. Let me see what they send to me here. Let me hear what they're saying here. Let me hear what they're saying here. Let me see what they say. Okay, no. Let me see. I want to see what they send here. But as usual, I leave the volume on this in the back here. So let me take the volume off. And let me bring it back up and see what it is that they're saying. Where did that disappear to now? Yeah, it was just up a moment ago. Right, yes. So let's just pull this up and see. Somebody sent this to me. So let me, and so let me just go to this one. Yeah. And for some reason, we're not getting the audio on it now. What's the problem here? Yeah, for some reason, I'm not getting the audio. Okay, let me play it like this. Maybe if I play it like this, I'll get the audio on it instead. Yeah? Nice.
I'm here in Windsor Forest. I'm here at, where should I say, Voulez. We're getting ready for Tilisa's place on Saturday. Look, King Brian is here. And we have got a beautiful sister here. We've got the PRO here, of course, and they are getting ready for a luncheon or a breakfast. Can you want to tell us about that, Brian?
Yes. It's a barbecue luncheon on Saturday, 30th. Come out. You're getting your pork, you're getting your chicken, and it will be well prepared. So come out early. We'll be starting early, 11 o'clock. Come out and get your stuff, and we want.
What we expect? What Rona? What's on the agenda?
Not me, ask Tilisa.
Yeah, Tilisa, what's on the agenda? What's on the menu? Sorry, may I ask?
Local pork.
Yeah.
Salad, rolls.
Yeah.
Chicken.
So it's barbecue in general.
Right.
Yeah. And bro,
Chicken,
what else?
pork.
What else? Is there anything that we forgot?
Oh, yes.
Come out
Green
and
Yes,
support.
I go like for people to come out and support, that would be very good because that will help to build the community and might be able to help the little folks around who can't help themselves.
Right.
People and things,
Right. No,
this
so
thing would energize us a lot, and I would like to see that the people around come out and support us.
right. So my question: this is the new National Party team, of course. I used a word earlier on. I don't know if Brian was saying the rekindling team, Brian. Am I right there?
Well, whatever.
Yeah, that's a rekindling team.
Reviving.
Yes.
Rejuvenating.
Yes.
Whatsoever.
Yes.
There's a lot of words that could be
Yes,
used.
yes,
You
can
understand?
express. So Saturday, come on, support. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right here.
Yes, indeed, folks. So, yeah, they're getting ready. Nice, right? Yeah, they're handling the business, making sure it's seasoned proper and all kind of thing. You're right, nice, yeah. So it is taking place. That's the team up there in St. David. They are getting ready for Saturday's activity and thing, right? Yeah, so they're going and season up and thing and make sure everything right. So folks, remember the breakfast that was scheduled for the Grenville bus terminal by the New National Party Ford group, they have postponed it. And let me say a good night to Anne-Marie, Miss Rosanna, Jenelyn, all of the supporters up there. Let me say a special good night as up in St. Andrews. Mr. Felix, good night to you, sir. Good night to you, good night to you. Roy and Miss Maudlin, good night to Miss Ermelin. Why am I saying Maudlin? Miss Ermelin. Good night to both of you. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, yeah, we say good night to all of you. Hope that you all are having a wonderful night tonight. Folks, the phone lines are open. You can call 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. It is the night before the holiday. We know tomorrow is a holiday. Yes, but remember on Saturday, yeah, Carifta games begin. Yeah, the Carifta games begin on Saturday, right? I've seen in the mall and so today, I saw quite a few of the young people that came in. You can tell these are young athletes and so that have already come in from some of the islands and so, and they are getting themselves ready. So they probably had a little free time to make a little pass in the mall and check out and so today. So they did that. All right. But the thing that's concerning me, the thing that I'm having an issue with, and I'll say it bluntly, I think that the Ministry of Sports, they have me seriously concerned in relation to the preparations for this weekend's activity. Yeah? And I hope, even just by saying this, that they do not end up embarrassing Grenada. Now, folks, for those of you who've been involved in athletics before or administration of athletics and that sort of thing, you would recognize that when it comes to these types of activities, Carifta games, when you have national champs, all these sort of things, outside of the athletes, when the athletes go onto the tracks themselves, they also have what you call a warm-up track. That's where they go and they do their stretches in that area and so, and they get themselves prepared to do the actual race. So just before they go to do the actual sprints and so on, the different races, they go and they loosen up a bit on the warm-up track. It is a requirement. It is a requirement by all of the international bodies. Yeah, that you have this warm-up track and so. Only to hear this morning that they're just putting down the warm-up track. What we heard before was that the tracks were completed. Yes, the tracks, the main tracks in the stadium, but the warm-up tracks that are just as necessary, they're still working on those. It shows a disconnect with reality by the individuals who are in charge. Yeah, in short, like all they don't know what they're doing. Because for over a year, well over a year, Grenada has known that we're going to be having the Carifta games. There should be no way that less than 48 hours away from the opening ceremony that you have people now going to do warm-up track. The warm-up track should have been done, in my view, at the same time that you were doing the main track. What stopped you all from, because I understand the process, I understand how the main track was being done, and what stopped the warm-up track from being done at that point in time, till now, you have athletes who have come from various countries are here, going to use the stadium facility, and they're ending up having to warm up on the main track itself because there is no warm-up track available. This morning, or still they digging up thing and doing all kind of nonsense down there. What kind of madness is that? I mean, come on. This is nearly unbelievable that you within about 48 hours at the opening ceremony, the Carifta games are here, the athletes are here, the coaches are here, the scouts are here. Let me say that again, the scouts are here. And I'm not talking about the Sea Scouts and them, I'm talking about the scouts from different universities. They are already here. And these individuals, they have come here. Some came during intercall. And for those of you that may not know, each time we have intercall games here in Grenada, there are scouts who come in very quietly from universities in the United States and other areas, some of them Jamaica, different things. They come in and they have a look at what Grenada has to offer. And then they cherry pick out of that the athletes that they would like to invite to come to their university or to their track team. They may see a young man who is doing pretty well in the 400 meter. And they may have one from, let's say, St. Lucia and a two from Jamaica that they've already identified to make up a 4x4 team. Although they really need 6, but they've made up their 4x4 team. And they would then, at the time that that young person, they'll follow the young person, and then when that young person has finished with their schooling here in Grenada, they offer them the opportunity to get a scholarship to their university. So if the young person is doing well enough, right? If they're doing well enough in athletics and they maintain a specific standard, they don't have to worry about having to find money to pay to go to university. The scouts that come and take a look at them during intercall, and they mightn't even say anything at that point in time. They come, intercall games in Grenada, they relax in the stands, they look on, nobody don't even know who they are sometimes. They come, they look, they take notes, they say, okay, I'm going to follow that one. Let me come next year. That one is in Form 4. Let me come next year and see what they offer when they get to the other level, and they monitor them. And then as soon as that person graduates, they're looking to take that person into their university. It has happened before and it continues to happen. So as such, we need to be very careful with our facilities and what we are putting forward. Because again, right now, there are several scouts from various universities, etc., here in Grenada. And they are having a look. They are having a look, not just at Grenadians, but all the other islands, what Bermuda, Bahamas, Guadeloupe, what St. Lucia has to offer, what Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica has to offer. Bahamas, they are here and they are taking a look and seeing. And they're starting to mark down, this one looks like the next Kirani James. This one looks like the next Usain Bolt. We're seeing the next Shelly Ann Fraser here. So they are looking on and they are taking note. So we can't afford on our end with something as simple as ensuring that the warm-up track is ready in time. No wonder you have to fire run. But only bring another one just as incompetent. Because things like this ought to be done. Tell me, how can the Sports Max team, the camera crew that is coming in, that will do 1 or 2 productions on Grenada while they're here so they could splice in during the games and so, even if it's just a 30 seconds here of Granan's Beach or a waterfall or something that they could splice in and different things like that, to show that to the rest of the Caribbean. And even for those who would tune in from North America, from South America, from Africa, Asia, Europe, wherever, those people that would tune in. Because this is a big deal. But you have the Sports Max team coming and have to sit down nearly 5 to 6 days to get the equipment. What kind of nonsense is that? That the camera crew could come here and have the equipment sit down on the port and the people had to basically sit down and drink beers some way, wasting time when they could already have gone. I mean, they got it now, but I'm just drawing the reference of what has happened. They can't tell me it can't happen. I don't even try that and try to say a line. Don't do it. I'll embarrass all you. Right. They went and these people, equipment came in. And you're telling me that their equipment came in, their equipment was here, sitting on the port, and nobody could make a call and say how important it is that these people got their equipment, that their equipment went to the athletic stadium, that the equipment was set up in time, that everything was tested out and so on, so that 1 or 2 from that team could have been loosened to go around Grenada, get some new shots they may have from years ago, back when we had the games, what it was, 2016 I think it was, back in 2016, to get some new shots of Grenada in 2024 after COVID, that they would be able to use to help promote Grenada. Stuff that they could have in what the media you sometimes call B-reel, as in additional footage that they can have there that every now and again when they speak about Grenada, they could utilize. But how could they do that when you have the camera and thing locked on the port? And then by the time they get everything now, they have to rush to go and try and set up. They have to try and set up cameras, set up equipment and everything. Then they have to start to run tests, because it is not simply, even doing this program, is not simply come turn on a camera and start to talk. You have to talk about lighting. You have to talk, if you're doing it over the internet, you have to make sure that you have a stable internet feed. Yeah? You have to make sure that your transmission is safe. You have to make sure that you don't have too much resources on your internet line, that you have a dedicated internet line for that. You have another internet line for all the other things that you may be doing at the same time. And both of them are separate and one doesn't affect the other. All of these things you have to take into consideration. You have to make sure that your shots at the daytime are clear, your shots at the nighttime under the lights are clear. You have to know what settings your cameras have to be on. You have to know what camera positions are best to catch different things. So you have to know all these things. But how are you going to do that when the equipment's sitting on the port? Again, it's not sitting there now. They got it now. But all the equipment was sitting down there. What kind of madness is this? What level of incompetence is that? So today, you know, a man going and dig up thing and trying to set down, put in place, warm up track and all kind of thing. 48 hours. 48 hours before the games. That's craziness. I could tell you, I could guarantee you that under a new National Party administration, no such nonsense would have been allowed to happen. Phone calls would have been made, protocols would have been followed, but phone calls would have been made to ensure that it was done speedily, expeditiously, and properly, so that these people would not have to have the equipment sit on the port for an extended period of time, because you can't blame the port workers. They are doing what they're supposed to do. They can't just take equipment and send it out and all kind of thing. They're doing what, so you can't blame customs. Customs doing what customs are ordered to do. They're doing their job. But if you speak to them and you say the importance of this to the economy of Grenada, and the importance of this, because you will have Grenadian athletes that are competing that even though they don't win, we go get some medal, but even though they don't win their event, that these athletes will still get an opportunity to show their talent in front of these world scouts, the scouts that come from different countries that looking for talent. And they know this is the country of Kirani James. This is the country of Kurt Felix, Lyndon, Lyndon, I keep forgetting Lyndon's surname now, but Lyndon, this is the country of people like Anderson Peters, the two-time world champion in the javelin, Aline Francique, Hazel Ann Regis. They know this is the country of these people. So they look to this country because, remember, we're going to the Olympic Games, and I don't think Grenadians, I think we are a little too laid back on certain things, and this is one of the things I think we are a little too laid back on. We are going to the Olympic Games. Grenada has a team that's going to the Olympic Games. And even though we are going to the Olympic Games, Grenada remains the only country in the OECS, that has the possibility of coming back with more than one Olympic medal. I ain't talking down to the other countries, I'm just stating facts. I'll tell you that there are two other, my St. Lucian friends would like to hear that. Sandra, I know you and Lucy Queen would like to hear that. There are two other countries in the OECS, Organization of Caribbean States, that have a possibility of coming back from the Olympic Games with a medal. There's a young lady in the sprints out of St. Lucia. Her name eludes me. My Lucian friend, send the name to me. It eludes me right now. But that young lady has been doing very well in the sprints she has a possibility of coming back with a medal, to the first medal that St. Lucia would ever win at that level, the Olympic Games. They have the possibility of doing that this Olympic Games. Dominica also has a lady, I believe it's in the triple jump, the triple jump or long jump. I'm trying, Lyndon Victor, that's the name, thank you. Dominica also has a young lady that's in the jumps. I'm trying to remember if it's triple jump or long jump. Okay, they're different, triple or long jump. That has been operating on a world-class level as well and has a very good possibility of going and bringing back a medal for Dominica. We're not just speaking medal in the case of St. Lucia and Dominica, speaking the possibility of them going back and come back with gold medals. So the OECS going up heavy this year. So seeing that we're going up heavy, we can't have no false start with what's going on here. The tracks are supposed to be done. The warm-up tracks are supposed to be done. And the fact that you're now scrambling to get them done. And I think they were trying to do the pit. Trying to do the pit for the throws. They discuss and the shot put and that kind of thing. Now trying to get them thing. That's madness. Those things should have been done long. You all shut down the stadium facility saying that you're getting these things done. Now, basically hours before the start of the games, you all still twiddling your thumbs, you're now trying to get things done? Come on, man. Seriously. Get with the program. Folks, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside of tonight's program. 440-7377. So remember the breakfast sales, yeah? You're going in, those of you in St. Patrick, Sater's Bus Terminal, you're going there, you're getting your breakfast, 6 a.m. That's NNP St. Patrick's West, and they are indeed going to be assisting the fire victims out there in Chantemel, so make sure you get down there, or even if you don't want the breakfast and you just come and you make a donation, no problem, all right? The St. George Northeast Women's Arm, they are going to be on Melville Street in St. George in front of the Republic Bank, right? So remember that. And then, right, you could go across after by the New Dimensions and make sure always are Angel Haps, man. The dimensions are beginning all up by Angel Haps, man. I'm just saying it outright. I love you all. I love all Steel Pan people, right? But I remember brother and my uncle and all of them used to play, so I had to like that, right? Yeah, so go on out, support the next New Dimensions cake sale and so. Then you have to head up to Volley. Volley have their function going on starting from 11 up in Volley Gap Day by Paul's shop. From 11, go and get your barbecue. So various activities taking place. Folks, head on out and support all of them. Then remember on Sunday, it's the NNP Lime up there in Grand Mall. Remember to contact your constituency leads. Get the information from them.
Chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we would stay at
440-7377, 347-329-3101.
strain, but you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline. But when asked, how is the
Good night to you, Shemi.
fine.
I hope that you're having a wonderful night tonight, Shemi.
Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by...
And folks, another thing I wanted to mention. This morning, I started getting messages from various people about what conference call I was having. Yeah, people started to call and ask about what conference call because they received calls, not messages, These people and them brave, They called from Grenadian numbers. They called various people and they told them that Talking Points, Sheldon asked them to call that Talking Points is having some conference and they need them to respond of whether they're going to be attending. So please send the code that they sent to them, right? Please send the code that they sent to them, send it back to them. Folks, let me give you a warning. And if I have to come and give you that warning every night, I'll come and give you that warning every night. Under absolutely no circumstances, you can hear my voice call you. And notice I say my voice, but not me. You can hear my voice call you and say, hey, I'm having problems. Send a code I send to you, to me, please. Don't send it. Don't send it. Don't feel sorry for nobody. Listen, in no circumstance, none whatsoever, can somebody send a code to your phone or your email that is going to open their phone or their email or their WhatsApp. We at Talking Points have not sent out any message to anyone. So if you see those numbers calling you, please, first thing I want you all to do is not answer. Second thing I want you all to do is block those numbers. And the third thing I need you all to do is to report those numbers. When you click next it, you'll see how to report the numbers. So please, block them, report them, and if you can, let me know the numbers that are calling you. Because so far, numbers that have been calling people are 417-9080 and 403-4098. There's another number that someone mentioned had called them as well. And let me see. That number, this one got 2 calls as well. This one got it from 415. This one got it from 415-9080. And they got it from 403. Let me see that one here, if it's different to this one here. They got it from 403-4098. So they got it as well from different numbers. Yeah, but any number. It could be the number that you knew to be mine. And notice I'm being very careful with what I say here. The number that you knew to be mine, because it may not be mine. I recognize that even in some of the groups that I am in, when I posted that message, the individuals, because I believe firmly that these are individuals not in Grenada, it is not political, it is just criminal, total criminal. Because in the last week, we've heard what happened. Ariza did get hacked. I mentioned on a program about 3 weeks ago, on this program, I mentioned to you all that the government of Grenada was hacked. The government of Grenada just never came out and admit, they never deny, because nobody asked them, but they never admit that the government of Grenada was also hacked. In fact, most of the Eastern Caribbean countries, their individual governments were hacked in that same space of time. So there are groups of criminals that are working out there and are using every means possible. Because remember, if they can hack my account and they can get to the 5,000 people, for instance, I have on Facebook as friends, they can get to them. And if after that, they can also use the opportunity that is provided to message people and say, oh, this is Sheldon here, my phone not working proper, but send X amount of money for me and so. Yeah? So always verify. If somebody sends a message to you and saying that they can't talk or they have to send a voice note, verify. Call the person, speak to them. Yeah, one tried it with me. You know what I did to them? I told them, I said, okay, if you know me so well, what's my middle name? They can't answer. Anybody that knows me very well would know about me and middle name. I asked them, so where's my middle name? They can't say. But you're supposed to know me so well, and you're supposed to be the individual that, okay, you know me so well, where did we meet? Right? But in any instance that you see them asking you about, they want a code, do not send any code to them. Let me repeat. They did it to Real FM as well. They were there telling people that Andre Donald and Real FM, they are going to have a session. And they started what they did as well. Yes, Julian Alfred, that's the one from St. Lucia. Julian Alfred. Folks, just a little aside, Julian Alfred is the athlete from St. Lucia. Look out for her in the Olympic Games. She's going to the finals. And believe me, she'll come back and bring St. Lucia's first medal. Remember, I tell her that here tonight. Right. Yeah, so again, do not send any codes to anyone. Do not send any codes to anyone. And this goes across the board, not just here in Grenada, but to my friends listening in St. Lucia, to those of you that are in the US, because many of the people that got the calls and were WhatsApp calls, they were people that are in Brooklyn and so on. So it means that one of the numbers in a chat group may have been taken over by these criminals, and there's no other way to describe them. They are criminals. They are the scum of the earth. And I know they're watching this program, so I'm saying it. Because the reason they attacked us was because they started watching the program. It's a reason when I see certain people try to get into the chat and different things like that on YouTube and Facebook, I just block them and delete them. Because I know who they are. You could tell by the pattern. Yeah? And even when you see people trying to add you on Facebook, and when you look at it, number one, for men, they always try to put a picture of some, as far as they are concerned, good-looking woman, yeah, blonde hair, this, that, the other, who doesn't know you from Adam but suddenly wants to add you. And when you look, you see 2 or 3 people in Grenada. But then you see Bitcoin trader. From the time you see that, block and delete. You don't know the person, block and delete. But some people adding them. And then it has some fellas who, quote unquote, thirsty, and not water we're talking about out there, and adding them and getting duped into sending money for these people. So when some people say about Ariza has been hacked. And if you all know how Ariza has been hacked, you all will learn to be much more careful with your phones, with your tablets, with your laptops, with everything. All it took was the hackers were able to infect one person's device. Whether that person had given their phone to their child and the child clicked on a malicious link and that link was downloaded to their phone, and then they went to the office with their phone, and that phone was able to spread that virus through the entire network inside of the company and infect all of their computers. And then what? I don't know the specifics except of that. I don't know the other specifics if it was a ransomware, which is where the people would actually lock all of your computers. Like they would get into here and they would lock all the computers. So then when I get to studio, I can't do anything. And they say, well, okay, you need to pay us X amount of money by this point in time. In Bitcoin, you need to pay us this amount of money by that point in time, or we will delete all your information. Now they could go ahead and delete mine. They could do me anything. They could delete everything inside. They feel like stupid. Go ahead. Invade and delete everything. It ain't going to stop anything. Right? But that's what they do. So I don't know if it was a ransomware, what is considered a ransomware attack that Ariza went through. But know as well that Ariza isn't the only financial institution. Nearly every single one of them have had some form of attack by cyber criminals. Some successful, some not successful, but every single financial and some of the larger businesses in Grenada, they don't talk about it because they want you to have the confidence that your information there is safe and so on. But a lot of the big businesses in Grenada have also been the subject of cyber attacks. So yes, we know the government and the equipment from Israel through Mossad that was bought with money from the Middle East. We know they have that and they can hack and they've been trying to monitor and follow what everything. Yeah, we know that. But this thing is outside of that being criminal as well. But this thing is taking place and we need to be careful. I often see people circulating things like Caribbean Airlines is offering free trips. Click on the link. Click on what link? All you ever know Caribbean Airlines in all your born days. Let's say you're 40 years old and all your 40 years, you ever know Caribbean Airlines offer free trips? But you go clicking on link. KFC have a surprise for you here. Click on the link. You ever know KFC tie any surprise for you there? You're clicking on link. Do not click on the links. And let me warn early. All of you that send around some of these messages about click on this for a surprise from, don't send it. Please, not to my devices. Don't send it. Some of you send these messages that say a surprise message from so-and-so is here. Do not send it. Please, don't send it. I'm saying it live here. Don't send it to me. Don't send it to other people. Because some of the links that are there are malicious. They can infect your phone. Then they have access to your phone calls. They can listen in when you're speaking on your phone to other people. They can take all your pictures, your videos, everything off of your phone. And they can have a copy of that for themselves. They can go as far as to read your SMS messages. To an extent, they may be able to do it with WhatsApp if they know what they're doing. But generally, that's the extent of what they get to do. Right? So please, be careful. So again, we at Talking Points have sent out no message about having any conference call. Anybody call, immediately end the call, and so on. And they started calling people. Some people, they call them after 6 and so this morning. Before 7 o'clock, they were calling some people because they wanted you at a point in time that they wake you up. And you're confused and you're not too sure. What? Sheldon say what? Okay, yeah, right. That's the number. No, don't do it. And if you have done it, let me know. Let me put you in contact with people who can help you to get back your WhatsApp account. Because the moment you send that code to them, your account is gone. They have it. And they're going to, in your emails and so, they put the recovery information as their own. So you will not be able to get it back easily. You could get it back, but not easily. All right? We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, go right ahead. Mm-hmm.
A guy called me today. He called me. His name come up as David.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him, but I did not see the name first, right? So he's inviting me to a Zoom meeting.
No. That's one of them. What,
yes.
And on behalf of who?
Yes. So listen now. So I asked him, I say, well, what is Zoom about? He says something to do with Relay FM. Mm-hmm. So I asked him, so where are you calling me from? He said, don't worry, that is just, I said, where are you calling me from? And he's not saying that. Because he's not saying that, I asked him if he know anything about a Nov agent that you call Novichok. He said, no. I said, when you come in, do some chemistry and physics before you come to me. Because I'm poisoning you and argue with you. He cut the phone off. When I call him back, he never answer. The number is 234-745-9982.
All right, I don't know. That's Nigeria.
Yes.
That's if I remember correctly, that's supposed to be Nigeria's area code.
Exactly. But the thing that is everybody they could catch, they can't catch me. No, I'm not giving in to nothing. You have to give me all the information. A Zoom meeting, if I have WhatsApp, if I have this. So I ask him, where you get my number from? He said, I said, well, what chat? I said, me and there no chat with nobody. So I said, I'm a single man. So don't call my phone. No, you have to tell them. Let them know what time it is.
You still have a lot of time to talk. Either just block, delete, report.
Right.
Block, report, sorry, and then delete. Block, report, delete. Yeah, and I'd advise you to take that approach. Block them. Don't waste your time. Yeah, you're a busy man. You have other things to do, including take a sleep. Block them. Report it to WhatsApp, so WhatsApp know immediately that number is involved in criminal activity, lock them down.
Exactly. That's why I give it. That's why I read the number there for you now. I know exactly what they're looking for, man. Have a good night.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, indeed. 44073. The approach of that listener is correct. Listen, nobody ain't calling all for no Zoom meeting. Not from the New National Party. Let me state it clearly. Not from the New National Party. They are not calling people for any Zoom meeting. Not from Talking Points, and definitely not from Real FM. They're not calling for any Zoom meeting. Right? We know how to find you if we having a Zoom. And if we having a Zoom, you don't have to send no code to us. We have to send a link to you to be able to come on, and we will let you know that we're sending a link. So even if somebody just send a link to you, and you see a Zoom link don't click on it still. Find out from the person first. Speak to them. Yeah, don't take no voice note. Speak to them. We have a call online. Good night.
Sheldon, good night. How are you?
Hey, I'm quite fine, my brother.
Listen, that is not the best one. The best one was at 5:43 this morning. My phone rang. I was just heading into the shower. I walked back to the phone. It was my number calling me and telling me that they want the code that was sent by Talking Points and to read back the code for them because we have a thing coming up. I tell the guy, I said, all right, 911. And I hung up the phone. My number.
Your own number call you back.
All right.
Well, my friend, it may mean in this instance that they have duplicated your number somewhere, that they already have access to your number and they've duplicated your number somewhere. If you have someone close to you who understands the technology, ask them to check and see if your phone number is linked to other devices.
My son did already, and he found it.
They found it, okay.
He found it, yeah?
Yeah. Because people can link your device.
And it originated out of Nigeria.
Of course. 234, once you see that number calling, just ignore it. Nobody in Nigeria calling you has any good intent. Just ignore it.
Yeah, I know. So I got it straightened out. So that is, as I say, always tell you, you're doing a good job, and just keep educating people. It's either they take it or they don't take it. But, you can't, you on a whole cannot stress security more than anything else. So, just putting it out there. Your own number would call you and tell you things. And if you're not smart, so.
My goodness, yeah. And that's what some people don't realize, though, that with WhatsApp gives you the option to have your WhatsApp chat on as many as 4 other devices. So you could have it on 5 devices at the same time.
Correct.
So people use that sometime, and they would take that and they can follow all your chat, everything without having your device. They can be there following your entire chat, all your groups that you're in. They would immediately be able to go into the groups and they can read all the information in your group as well. Yeah, once your number has been duplicated, which is why Mr. Jervis Dabrio always says it, put in 2-factor authentication. There's a way that you can program WhatsApp that in order for anybody to link your WhatsApp account to another device, a tablet or a computer or another phone, that they would need your fingerprint.
Yeah, I have the authentication, plus I have end-to-end encryption. So that is what was really, the 2-factor authentication and the end-to-end encryption. I have both of that system on my phone. Mm-hmm. So, it's either it was my phone was hacked or somebody who, I'm in contact with, one of my contacts was hacked and they got all the information.
Yeah. They're getting most of the numbers. They're getting most of the numbers of people to call from other numbers, which is why I'm saying, and I have to track it down. But one of the groups that I am in, one of the numbers there has been compromised, and as such, that number has exposed the other numbers that are in that group, and that's why some people are getting these calls and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to double check and trace it down, track it down. All right, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Have a good evening and happy Easter to you and the family.
Thank you so very much, my friend. All right.
care.
Great. Folks, how come they never call today Judas Day? And that's the day Judas do what he do. They never give Judas. If Judas didn't do what he do, then Christ couldn't die for his sins, Yeah. So they could have called today Judas Day. But anyhow, anybody beating a boboli tomorrow? Anywhere they have, some people don't know what I'm talking about. The younger people don't know what I'm talking about. Anybody beating a boboli tomorrow? Anyhow, we go find out. We have a call online. Good night. Hello. Hello, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Mr. Scott.
Hi, yes, you're live. Go right ahead.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
How are you, sir?
I'm quite fine. You go right ahead. You're live.
Yeah, because the other day, I saw this no, Matu, this strange, no, on my phone, but because as a person, I don't answer strange number like that because it's this long number, I can't even record. I can't even record, like how much, but it's a lot of number,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you just have to be careful, as I said. Block the number, report it, and then delete it. Just get them out of your way. Just delete them.
Mm-hmm.
Just block them, report them so WhatsApp knows that number is involved in criminal activity, and delete it because you don't want to accidentally unblock them later on or something like that. Just delete it. Get it off your phone. Yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
because, and right now, people have to be very careful right now,
Yeah.
People have to be very, 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 very careful.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed they do.
Okay then.
All right, my friend.
You're right.
All right. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. And folks, some of you may have received a WhatsApp message on behalf of the Grenville Credit Union. Let me tell you all that is fake. Yeah, there is no message being sent out there by the Grenville Credit Union offering any some kind of oh goodness, what these people are easy, Yeah, so let me see if I can pull up the message by the Grenville Credit Union to show you what I'm talking about, because there is this message that has been going around, and they are attempting to hack into the credit union system itself. They are attempting to hack into the credit union system, but not only that, they want to get your login credentials and that sort of thing. So I'm just trying to pull it up onto this device, and let me just try to pull it up over on this device, because again, I'm working with multiple devices here, right? And let me give you all some of the numbers that have been calling people. There's also 536-1438, and I think I'm seeing 410-7403. Yes, so 536-1438 and 410-7403. I think are some of the numbers that have been attempting to call people. And so just remember, no matter what number that calls you, it can be a number that you know. Regardless of which number it is that calls you, don't send any code for anybody. Right? Any code that comes to your phone is for your device. Any code that comes to your phone number is for your phone number. I can't send my code for my phone to your number. Only my number can take the code for my number. Right? So please, anybody say they're sending code to you, they're sending the code for your own number. They have what your number is because they message you or they call you. And any code that comes up on your phone, they will utilize that code to be able to get your phone, get your numbers, right? And get all your information. So please, just be very careful. And they're using it. Remember, these people are relentless. They don't care. If they can get 10 Grenadians to send them 400 US. Remember what that is? That's 40,000 US that they didn't have before. And all they did was they trick you into sending information to them that they then use to trick other people. And it's a group of them. Yeah, so by the time I see 2, 3, 4, I just stop the call, block, delete. I ain't want to hear nothing again. You understand? I'm not interested. The couple friends that I do have in Nigeria, they know how to find me. Yeah, the 1 or 2 friends that I do have in Nigeria, they know how to find me. My friends in Ghana, Botswana, they know how to find me. Right? So do not keep any of those numbers on your device. I repeat it again because it's so important. I see a lot of people, they do business. These days, this is what we use to do business. Yes, so they may have their setup for the bank and everything on it. A lot of people have been losing access to their device. Not just their WhatsApp, some people have been losing access to the device itself because they go and they click on some link. Even earlier this week, we had the situation with the classroom that they lost access to both YouTube and Facebook. Luckily, we have tech guys that know what they're doing, so they were able to quickly get back the accounts. Right? So don't click on links just like that. In fact, when you get to a certain level, you realize that even pictures can hack your phone. Even somebody sending a video to you can hack your phone. It is possible, and it's easier than you may think to do. So please be very careful with what you click on and so. But as I mentioned, that a lot of people are doing things on this. There's a situation that exists right now for the people of St. John, and many of them have contacted me. I've spoken with many of them in town and so on this particular issue. The issue that Republic Bank is now closing their branch in St. John, and they're only going to have an automated teller there. They're only going to have the ATM, right? Also, there's the situation that Republic Bank is also going to close their Grenada branch. That's the branch over by the Steels building there. Yeah, over across from Radisson, that building. They are closing that branch, and they are moving all operations to the branch down at the end of the Maurice Bishop Highway. So that branch, right across from Food Fair, right across from Radisson, that branch of Republic Bank is going to be closed, and they're moving all the operations into the main building on the highway there. Now, folks, over the years, I've always said it's important for us to understand that these financial institutions, bit by bit, and you can't blame them because remember they are financial institutions. The shareholders, they empower the staff and the management to ensure that they can operate the business as effectively as possible to make the most income. And if making the most income means that you have to start saying, we don't want to have 6 tellers standing there for people to come and go to them, and then sometimes at certain times you realize there are only 4 or 5 people in the bank, but you're paying a teller that's sitting there. They may have little things that they could do in the interim, but you're paying those tellers to be there, and then you have to deal with trade unions and so. Understand that by my estimation, within the next 5 to 10 years, there will be no such thing as bank tellers. They might have one person there to deal with that kind of thing. For the 1 or 2 holdouts that still want to do business that way. There are certain categories of jobs that will no longer exist 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, or 15 or 20 years from now. There are certain category of workers and jobs that will no longer exist. And let me use a classic example. Back in the 1990s and before, when you had to place an overseas call, in the early 90s, you had to place an overseas call, you had to call the operator down at Grentel, isn't it? So you had to call or Grenada cable, Grenada wireless or whatever it was. You had to call the operator, and the operator would plug you through to whoever it was overseas, and so they would go to an operator over there, and the operator would get to the person and that sort of thing. You don't need that again. So there's no such thing as an operator again when it comes to the phone companies and when it comes to companies as well. Where companies before would hire a young lady or a young man, or not even necessarily young, but hire a person that's going to be there, that when calls come in, they would say, oh, hold for Mr. So-and-so, and they would send a call over to that person. Or back in the old days, they used to have to plug in the call so that person's phone would ring, but then it became a system where they would press a button and they would ring the person's phone and say, so-and-so is on the line for you. That category of workers is also becoming irrelevant, eliminated. Because now you have technology has taken that over. That when you call one of the financial institutions or one of the bigger companies in Grenada now, what you get is that you get these people have programmed something that calls and says, you have reached so and so. For this, dial 1. For this, dial 2. For that, dial 3. And so that used to be a physical person sitting there taking that call and doing that. But now they have technology that does that. And artificial technology is going to make this happen even faster than it was happening before. Because artificial technology learns. It makes mistakes, but it learns from the mistakes so it doesn't make that mistake again. So it's speeding up the process of how you program these software to do these processes. So whereas years ago, you had guys that their job was to go around and take out the money from the phone booths. Remember the phone booths that we used to have? Them blue phone booths they used to have? Right. And those on the carriage, the old English style ones on the carriage. So there were guys whose job was to go and sanitize those things, take out the money, and so and make sure everything is working okay with it. I don't know if it was on a daily basis or how much days, and so I never paid attention, but there were guys that was their job. Those guys not needed again. We don't have pay phones. You don't have that kind of thing. I don't know the last time I saw an active working pay phone. So you don't have pay phones and those sort of things again. I don't know if Superman does change now because you don't have pay phones again. So that is a category of worker that is gone. And if we continue to think that 5 years from now we're still going to be walking into a bank and going up to a teller, then we have something else coming, Remember, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank also released digital currency. So you had your currency in a digital format that you would have on your device, that you could go into a business place and they would take your device and you could pay your $20 or your $10 or your $5 or your $100 or your how much $100. That's what Dcash was. They've taken it down now and I think they're redoing it. But that's what it was. So even to go, you didn't have to go to the bank to do certain things. You could have paid online. You don't have to go in the line and stand up in Grenada. You pay online. So pretty soon you would realize that companies like that who are looking at the bottom level, they are not going to be taking in more and more people to come and stand up to say, well, we cash in. They're going to be reducing because it's going to be less likely that people are doing that. You can pay Grenada right now off of this. You can pay Flow, any one of the companies, you can pay them off of this. Nawasa, you can pay some of the credit unions, different things. You can pay them off of this device. So why would they continue to have cashers and have to spend money on cashers when they can just have an app that you have and you know how much money you have and you can do your payments and so on. And I'm saying this in the context of our educational system needs to meet up with that, because you still realize that you have loads of young people that are in the secondary school system now and their wish is that they want to go and work in a bank. They want to put on a nice suit and they want to go and work in a bank as a teller for a period of time and so, and then hope that they get a higher position. But that category of jobs is being eliminated. And you don't hear the trade unions speaking about that. You don't hear them speaking about that. You don't hear them speaking about the fact that many of the jobs that now exist within the public service, that within 20 years, those jobs will become redundant. In other words, they will not exist again. You don't need a person to do it. You had people, and you still have people, who answer the phones in the ministries and so, at this point in time. Well, when they do answer, I know the complaints, I know, yeah. But they have people that are supposed to be doing that. But in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, that category of job will no longer exist. So what are the young people who are coming up now, what are you going to train them into? Are you going to train them to be the users of the technology or the creators of the technology? This government came in speaking a lot about the young people and technology and so on. My friends, this government has been an abject failure when it comes to the young people. So they were speaking about our technology and we're going to do this and we're going to do coding and we're going to do all these things. Grenada has to move itself to being the creators, the people who benefit from the technology and not the people who are just using the technology. So there has to be a shift in the education system, and understanding that that shift started and was accelerated by the COVID-19 epidemic is why Grenada went into the tablet program where you had the tablets and so on there, and you were looking to expand on that. Now, you had to do it at that point in time because of how the educational system and the world was running at that point in time. You definitely had to do it at that time. But this government just basically dropped down on it. You ask them about the tablets and so on, and if they're doing anything in relation to the tablets, the excuse of the minister was, oh, them young people and them break the tablet. When it mean break, they've cracked the software, which, I mean, they could go on YouTube and spend half an hour and learn how to do that. So they cracked the software on the computer and they're doing other things with it. Yes, so you know that. But what are you doing to counteract that? Because there are ways to counteract it. What are you doing to engage these young people to position Grenada, that Grenada is at the point where Grenada is the country that all the other countries have to call when they need these sort of things? Instead of just sitting down and saying, well, he come in and he go happen. So we can look at a bank closing in St. John as something simple, but understand where that is coming from. It's coming from the bottom line. They will take 200,000 US and spend for a piece of software, knowing fully well that that piece of software is going to save them $5 million over a period of time in having to pay staff and union dues and all these sort of things and all the other things that come along with having staff. So they know that it's going to save them. And I'm not saying this to say that that is what has to happen, but it also shows what has been taking place, because this is what they used to say every time a bank decided that they're closing a branch and they're sticking to the one in town. And so they used to say it shows what is going on with the economy there. But if the bank, on doing their assessment, recognize that there is not enough economic activity as far as they are concerned to break even by leaving it open in that community, they will close it, and that's what's taking place. So it also says what is taking place when it comes to the fishermen and so, and what is taking place in St. John and the agriculturists and all of that. So then they find that they have not been breaking even, so they're moving out of there. And they're saying we will leave a teller machine, you all could use your teller card and so. But for people in their 70s and 80s and so on, these people do not want to have to, they still want to be able to go into a bank, and many of them still want to have the bank book. So they bring the bank book. If I put in $25, write me $25 there for me, put your signature next to it, me $25 inside there, bring it and I put it there. They don't know about going and say, well, I go in and pay Grenada for this. They still want to go and stand up in the line and pay. So we have to recognize that, and we have to understand that change when it comes to these things is coming, but it is how we as a nation prepare for it. That technology is going to play a bigger and bigger and bigger role. Just about 4 or 5 years ago, you heard about artificial intelligence. Now you recognize artificial intelligence has the ability to take this video that you're watching of me right now and change what I say. They have the ability, if you know what to look for, you could know that that is being done, but it can change it. So you have to prepare yourself, and we all have to prepare ourselves for what is coming. We have a caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night. Happy Easter to you.
Yes, thank you, and same to you. Many happy returns.
Yeah. And, I know these things going on. You see what they do, I know these things going on, so you have to be very careful.
Yes, yes.
So I call to wish you a happy Easter, and members of the opposition, I wish them all the best for the Easter season.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And folks, let me just quickly give you a glance of what. Let me see, where is it? Yeah. Let me just give you a glance of what was put out by the Grenville Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Right. Dear valued members, we've been made aware of the attached congratulatory message, which claims to be from Grenville Cooperative Credit Union and notifies winners to collect their prizes. Please note that this communication is not from us and is not affiliated with us in any capacity. Your security is our top priority. We urge everyone to exercise caution and refrain from clicking on suspicious links. If you have any doubts or concerns, please contact us directly through our official channels. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding. And this is what has been sent to several people. The artwork that has been done is the Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, and it says attention and so on. The words do not click are not there. You know, they want you to click, so they send it. All right, and this is the message that has been sent. Congratulations, you have been chosen as our winner, blah, blah, from the Grenville. That is not from the Grenville Cooperative Credit Union League, right? Just letting you all know, right? Because they want to hack them too, right? And they want to hack the people who are attached to them as well. So you need to be careful. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number to get onto the inside.
A few disgruntled green people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain.
And folks, I spent a good amount of time in the town of St. George today. Quite a lot of visitors that are here for the Carriacou games and so on. And many Grenadians that have come back during this period of time because they want to be here for the Carriacou games, or they just come to spend time with family over the Easter, right? So many folks are here. And with that, let me say this. There are many folks who have come and they have registered to vote. I'll do a program on this separately, but there are many folks who have come in and they have registered to vote. Let me let you all know some of what I've heard. Some of what I have heard. If it ain't true, say it ain't true. There are people who receive tickets to come back home during the independence celebrations, and there are some who are sneaking in right now. But they were given one-way tickets. And to get the ticket to go back, they had to show proof that they have registered to vote. So you have quite a lot of people who came out from the diaspora and who have, as far as I am concerned, been illegally registered to vote. And I'll tell you why I say illegally. The law in relation to registration says that an individual must be living in a particular area for at least 1 year before registering as an elector in that area. Yeah? So you can't be, for the last 5 years, living in Afghanistan, come back to Grenada now, and then simply go and register to vote in, and you're not even from St. David, you're actually from over in St. Mark, but you say, me, I ain't going in St. Mark now, I'm going and register in St. David, so you just go in St. David and you go and register. According to the law, that is illegal. And I'm pretty sure many of you listening right now know of individuals who over the past few months have come into Grenada. Maybe that is how 7 and 7.5 end up as 22.5 million. I don't know. But many of you know of individuals who have come to Grenada and registered to vote. So they are registered as electors. Some of them may not even have set foot in Grenada for the last 10 years. Some of them even longer than that. But they came back and they are registered. Pay attention to the voters list. Pay attention to the voters list. Because you can have an unpopular government, a failing government, an uncaring government that after election get returned to office, you know. And they can be returned to office if you don't mind your business. Which is why I always say, check the voters list. Make sure your name is there. Make sure the name of other supporters, people that you want, you know they're voting and so, check the list for them, but also check for those people that not supposed to be on the list. And let the person who is leading the work in your constituency know that person A has not been in this country for the last so much years, but look, their name is on the list. The first time that they visit Grenada since the year 1996 is during independence celebrations, but look, they registered to vote. Because a lot is taking place in the background, A lot is taking place in the background. There are about 3 or 4 things that I need to speak about. I'm trying to weigh in my mind if we need to speak about them during next week or after, some in relation to the south of the island. Yeah, it have a few things there. Papayo. So whether next week or the week after. And also, folks, I'm also weighing in my mind whether or not we are going to have a program tomorrow night. I'm not sure at this time if definitely we will be doing a show tomorrow night. There are several things that I must make sure I must confirm first before I can confirm that we will be having a show tomorrow night. So I'm not positive that we will be having a show tomorrow night as yet, right? But I'm working towards that. So hopefully by midday tomorrow, I'd be able to confirm. I'll put out the artwork as I usually do. You'd see the artwork comes up, notify me of whatever notification. That's why we say subscribe to the page. So when we send out those things, you would know what is happening. All right? Folks, 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers to call and get onto the inside. And folks, as I said earlier, the Olympic Games are coming up. I don't find Grenadians talking about the Olympic Games. No other territory within the OECS, within the Southern Caribbean, could speak of the possibility of going to the Olympic Games and coming back with more than 1 medal. Not even Trinidad. Barbados can't do it. Grenada can. You have multiple Olympic winner, Karani James. You win gold, you win silver, you win bronze. You have Anderson Peters, world champion back-to-back. You also have Mr. Lyndon Victor, who has also medaled at the World Championships, Pan Am Games, etc. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hi, good night. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Brother Sheldon, I want to say welcome to all the foreign artists that will be here to partake in the Carriacou game come Saturday coming. Alright, welcome to beautiful Grenada. Brother Sheldon, I want to also welcome everyone coming at Grand Mall to the constituency that is unbeatable, and we always remain green forever. Green forever. Welcome to everyone, the beautiful constituency of St. John Northwest. And Brother Sheldon, I want to say that again. To the people of Greater Carriacou and Peter Martin, know what you are doing. Know your purpose. As you are just speaking about the canvassing, there are a lot of people overseas may enjoying a lavish life. But the people of Greater Carriacou are living right here, going through hell under this government. Under this government. You can see the day of there, they don't care. They might like the government and like the government what they doing. Because they know they are not the one that feeling the pressure and going through the pressure under this government. So they will come here, register and vote to keep the government in power. But are calling upon everyone who doing the voters list. Let us scrutinize the list and scrutinize it rightly to those who just want to come back and leave, come back here just to register and vote and go back and come back. We have to do our work. And once we do our work, right, there is no way that they will be able to vote. But for them to vote, they must come here and live 1 year before they could vote. Because they say who they kids to feel the heat, they are away, and we feeling the heat, we feeling the pressure under this government. But I shall have a place.
All right, thank you. So, folks, we have to understand the law in relation to that. I'm trying to pull up the act itself, right? Because the law is very clear. Yeah? What has been done by a lot of people is illegal. Their name had to come off the list. So we, have to be the ones who ensure that we go over that list and make sure that their name comes off the list. Yeah? It is illegal. Right? So let me see if I can pull up the representation of the People's Act here, and let me see. Yeah. So right. So I think I may have found that section here. Let me just enlarge it. Oh, I haven't pulled it up for you all to see. Yeah, so let me see if I can enlarge in that part of it so that you all will see. Registration of electors. I still haven't pulled it over. Registration of electors. And in fact, this might be the better way for me to show you all. Right? Subject to this act, a person is entitled to vote in an election in a constituency if on polling day he is qualified and registered as an elector in that constituency and his name appears on the current list to be used for that constituency. In short, on election day, once the person's name is there, it is too late. You cannot then say that you want the person removed or the person shouldn't vote and that sort of thing. Once your name is on the voters list on election day and you are alive and is you could vote. Even if you do not have identification but your name is there, and the people who are there can identify that that is the person. Yes, that is Sheldon Scott. We know him. We see him on talking points. We just see him in town. We know him. Right? That is Sheldon Scott. They cannot deny you the right to vote. Right? I mean, it's important to have some form of identification with you, especially your voter's ID. But if you don't, that is not an excuse. You can still vote. Right? So let's look at that section 5. So that's just to give you all the warning that once the name is there on election day, it's too late. You have to get them off now. So we can't sit down and say that we're going to wait until you start to see rallies happening and all sort of thing to try and move it. No, because those names will end up there during the election and then it's too late. Right? So section 6 here, entitlement to registration, that speaks to subject to section 7, and we'll come to section 7. A person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any one constituency if he, A, is a citizen of Grenada, or B, is a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration. Yeah? C, has attained the age of 18 years, and D, is ordinarily resident in that constituency. And the part about ordinarily resident is what causes concern with a lot of people. For the purposes of registration under this act and the rules, a person is deemed subject to this act to reside in the polling division in which he was ordinarily resident immediately prior to his registration. A person is not ordinarily resident in a polling division if he has taken up residence in that polling division for the purpose of engaging in any employment of a temporary or seasonal character. In other words, if you born and grew up in, let's use the name that everybody's calling now, Shantimel. You're born in Shantimel, you grew up in Shantimel. You go to school, everything. But you got a job in the hotel sector, so you come down to town on a Monday and you work in the hotel sector, but you stay in a place, you rent a place down in Montu. So you're staying in this place in Montu during the week, but all of your mail doesn't come to Montu, it comes to Shantimel. All of your documents have you as living, your residence as Shantimel, but you're just renting in Montu because you're working on a weekly basis, you're working in there. Now, you cannot be considered as ordinarily resident in Montu, so you can't just go and say that I'm registering in Montu. I'm registering in the south. Because you are ordinarily resident. That's the place that you receive your mail and everything. Is in Shantimel. On the weekends, you go back up to Shantimel. If you're working in the tourism industry, in some aspects which are seasonal, so sometimes you're furloughed for off a month or so and then they're on rotation. If you are in that sort of thing, you cannot go and register where you're renting and say, well, that is where you're living. No, you're living your mail, nothing comes there for you. You just rest in your head there basically, and then you go to where you're really from. Right? So understand that, because some people have been using that as well to go and register in places they should not be registered. That's why I said ordinarily resident is an issue when it comes to this. Right? For the purposes of registration under this act, a person may be ordinarily resident in only one polling division at any particular time. So you cannot be ordinarily resident in Shantimel and at the same time you're ordinarily resident in Montu. You have to be in one. If you decide that no, you're living in Montu, now you're staying down here, and you have that all your documents saying Sheldon Scott, Montu, St. George, all your documents saying down there, your mail coming, then you're ordinary resident down there. But you have to be ordinarily resident down there for 1 year before being able to register as an elector down there. So this qualification, and this is the law, this is not just me saying these things, this is the law. Disqualification of electors. No person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any constituency who has been sentenced by a court in any part of the Commonwealth to death or to imprisonment for a term exceeding 12 months and has not either suffered the punishment as may have been substituted by a competent authority unless he received a free pardon. So in other words, if you've been convicted, you've been sentenced to death, because not only for murder and so, treason and other things you sentence people to death for, and so, or you have been sentenced to a term of imprisonment for 12, you're not allowed to be registered, right? Is a person adjudged to be of unsound mind by a qualified medical practitioner? In other words, a crazy person. I know certain people, let me wash my mouth, Anyhow, so is a person adjudged to be of unsound mind by a qualified medical practitioner? It's not just a case where somebody says that individual has dementia, but it must be a doctor that certifies that this person is a mental case, and therefore that person cannot be registered as an elector because they can't make a proper decision if their mind is clouded. So if it's one of the people that have to go to the psychiatric facility and receive their medication and so, that is because they've been adjudged of an unsound mind. And these individuals should not be on a voters list as voters. Right? They're medicated. They have been adjudged of an unsound mind. Right? Has been detained as a criminal lunatic under any law in force in the state of Grenada. Similarly, is disqualified for registration as an elector by any law in force in the state relating to offenses connected with elections. All right? So all of these things point towards some of the areas that a person can be refused. The registration officers can refuse to register an individual, right? Or challenges can be made if they are registered. So all of these things are things that we have to take into considerations, right? Just thought I'd let you all know some of this. I said we'll do a next program with this, but when I'm doing that program, no, not me alone. No, I'm bringing a lawyer. Yeah? I'm going to have a lawyer on with me. Me and no lawyer. So I'm going to have a lawyer on with me to speak up. I know who are calling already, right? So I'm going to have a lawyer on with me to talk in relation to those issues. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside.
Vain, hoping you'll ease this strain, but you now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they're cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot.
We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, I just have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is the Governor General a politician? I just asking.
I haven't heard what you said though.
The Governor General, is she a politician?
No. She is not. She's I have never known her to be involved in politics. I've known her for quite a long while. Probably since the 1990s. I've never known her to be involved in politics.
Oh, okay. Oh, she seems very involved, but okay. Just asking.
Okay, my brother. Thank you.
All right.
All right, no problems. No, I think the Governor General, in my view, is doing the job of the Governor General. If she's required to, she's asked to attend certain activities, according to the type of activity, Her Excellency will attend. If she's requested to do certain things by the government in office, the Governor General will also ensure that she does what she has to do and what she is supposed to do. Yeah? Governor Generals, and not just this Governor General, but Governor Generals over the years sometimes may not agree with something, but they would not come publicly and say so. They would speak to the then Prime Minister also and express to them their reservations about something. But you would not hear them speaking out publicly. They don't ever do that. We have a call online. Good night.
Hello?
Hi, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Very good night. How are you, boy?
I'm good, man. You go right ahead.
You're a good friend, man. You're a good friend.
Me partner.
Tell me something. It seems as though you have everything at your fingertips, boy.
Well, sometimes.
You listen me?
Yes, man.
Everything at your finger. It seems as though you're better than the Prime Minister by far, man. You could lead Grenada good. Why don't you try to be a politician again, boy?
Nah, I ain't want nobody tell me.
I find you could go ahead and do that. Let me ask you a question. Can the Governor General, as the gentleman just mentioned, can the Governor General of a state vote?
I do not believe the Governor General votes.
Come on, I don't hear, I can't hear you.
No, I do not believe the Governor General votes. If I remember correctly, no. Governor Generals don't vote. Yeah?
I hear you good enough.
The Governor General does not vote. Have you heard me now? I said that the Governor General does not vote. The Governor General is the monarch's representative in Grenada, and I do not believe they vote. In the same way that Her Majesty, I know His Majesty does not vote, the Governor General does not vote. Hello? Hello?
A neutral person then?
Yeah. Yes, caller. They're supposed to be neutral. You go right ahead.
I'll listen on the radio. Because I ain't getting you too good.
Okay. Yes, folks. And
all right.
Yeah. And folks, that's one of the reasons I am saying I'm not too sure on if we're doing the program tomorrow, because I wanted to use tomorrow to try and do some of the work that we have to do in studio, so we won't have that problem with callers who are calling directly and so on, sometimes not being able to hear us. Wanted to do some of the work in studio tomorrow, which may mean if we're not finished by the time the program is due to be on, that we have to leave off the program for that night. So according to what is taking place, by 12, I'll have a good gauge of if we'll be able to complete and so, and therefore we'll be able to move from there. All right, 440-7377. But no, if I remember correctly, Governor Generals do not vote. But as I was saying too, just before the caller call, that the second caller called there on the Governor General issue. Governor Generals, and I can speak going right back down, there are things that Governor Generals will not agree with. There may be something that they would raise concern with that they see happening within the country. There may be a law that is sent to them that they have concerns about, that they would ask the then government to take a second look at that. I see you send this. I understand where you're coming from, but I have a concern about that. But they will not go in front of the media and say that. They would not go and be saying that all over the place. They would quietly call the Prime Minister. I don't know them to be calling government ministers, but they would call the Prime Minister, the leader. They would call them and they would speak to them and say, listen, I have a concern about this or that, or I do not feel comfortable signing this or that into law, or whatever it is. That does take place. Yeah, and I believe it would still be taking place, but we would not know. Yeah, because that's a private conversation between the present Prime Minister and the Governor General. All right, nice. So, and Governor Generals, remember, the Governor Generals are basically the representative of, in this instance, His Majesty, and previously Her Majesty, right? So they are basically the head of state of Grenada, representing the monarch, right? So they don't vote and all of that. 440-7377, that's 440-7377, because some people are saying that, the governor, no, but I could remember, and Dr. Mitchell mentioned it recently, Sir Carlisle Glean, and I remember when I went in front of him, the man was always a very pleasant, smiling individual. He may have had his own political leaning, but you would never know that from his interactions with you, at least in my instance. We have a call online. Good night.
Yeah, it's me again. So sorry to call back, but the reason I had asked the question was is because when she not there and Tillman Thomas is the acting governor general, I just find that was a kind of weird situation. That's why I kind of asked the question.
Oh yeah. Well, it was because
I just find that whole scenario was really weird. So that's why I asked the question.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
All right,
brother. All right, thank you. Yeah, no, I understand. It's worthy of asking a question about. And I would think that the president of the Senate may have been sworn in as the governor general at that point in time if the president of the Senate was here. But I don't know if they were here or they were out, because, sometimes they're here, sometimes they're here, all kind of things that take place. Right? But anyway, 440-7377, that's 440-7377. So I can say that in my interactions with former, the late Governor General Sir Carlisle, that it was kind of, I don't think that I ever had any kind of negative thing from him, and so he carried out his duties, right, at the time, and then he demitted office, and he went and he had to get a new Governor General. All right? 440-7377, that's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Hello, good night. Hello? Okay, no, I think that one may have been a mistake call. Yes. So, yeah, when it comes to the Governor Generals, no, that's just the way that Governor Generals, or any Governor General that's in office. For instance, remember, Sir Daniel Williams was the Governor General at the point in time that the National Democratic Congress came into office. Sir Danny, he was the Governor General. He demitted office, and then they had the opportunity to select a new Governor General, where they selected Sir Carlisle Glean and so on. But Sir Danny never said anything at the point in time that he was the Governor General. But the moment he demitted office as the Governor General, and he was once again just a citizen, or as certain parliamentarians that say these days, a commoner, he decided to speak out on several allegations that were made unfairly against him. Right? So while he was Governor General, he never said anything about it. He never made any public statements in relation to it. He never whispered something to anybody about it. But when he demitted office, he was able to come. Yeah, he was able to come out and defend himself. I think he held a press conference, and he dealt with several issues there where people were accusing him of this and that and all kind of thing. He was able to deal with that. Right? So understand that in the context of Governor General's folks. Right? 440-7377. I think we have roughly about 10 minutes remaining. 440-7377. And I'm going to try, let me say now, I'm going to try my very best to ensure that we have program tomorrow night. I know many people are home. That's when they want to hear the program. So I'm going to try my very, very best to do the program tomorrow night. But also intend to do some work in studio to try and improve the quality of what is coming across, so that we could make sure that when the phone calls come, they're coming through clearly. I'm hearing them, they're hearing me. That when we're interviewing somebody via Zoom, that individual will be able to hear the phone calls as well, and the person on the line will be able to hear them as well. So that, because we have a problem with that right now. So we need to sort out those two main issues and one or two other issues that we have in studio, so that I'm planning to have some of that work done over the next couple days. So, Sunday is Grand Mall. Monday is Lansapine. So we're trying to do that tomorrow. All right? Nice, yeah. We have a caller online. Hello, good evening. Oops, wrong one. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir. I just want to ask a question about governor generals and so, right?
Mhm.
I know usually, well, what happens is a governor general will appoint a prime minister, from my understanding is that that person who's appointed must have won the seat, correct?
Yeah, you must not only win your seat, but you must have the majority support of the individuals who have won their seats as well.
So what I'm saying in I know there are no stupid questions, but
No.
I just want to find out if a governor general he or she becomes I don't want to say disgruntled, but it's like, let's say you as a governor general, you don't like how the country is being run and the people, can the governor general like fire the prime minister? So like I just asking because I've never heard it happening, but can they dismiss or can they write a letter to the prime minister? Normally the prime minister asks them to dissolve parliament, but can it be reversed? Can a governor general say in an official letter, unless you whatever, then you would have to dissolve parliament? Can it happen that way?
No. There are only certain circumstances in which you remove a prime minister. One, if it has been proven that the person holding the office of prime minister has lost the majority support of the members of the House of Representatives, not the Senate. The Senate don't count in this. Only the House of Representatives. The 15 people that were voted by the people of Grenada and placed in the House of Representatives, otherwise referred to as the lower house. Now, you have 15 people inside there, right? So whoever becomes the prime minister needs to have, these people need to let the governor general know that we support individual A for prime minister. Because let me also explain something to you here, my friend. A person could be the political leader of a party and not be the prime minister at the end of an election?
Yes.
Because the Constitution does not recognize political parties. They recognize individuals. So it is whoever has the majority support of the members who have won their seats in the House of Representatives after a general election. Now, if that person has lost the confidence, like that's why they sometimes have vote of confidence. If that person has lost the majority support, I think it's 72 hours. Is it 48 or 72 hours? They have 72 hours in which they can go to the Governor General and dissolve Parliament and call for elections or resign.
So one question before I go. So as it stands now, what I want to ask, if 3 of the representatives on the government side says they're crossing the floor, that means Parliament has to be dissolved? Because they would be in favor of the opposition.
I think there's a technicality which a government may be able to hold on with. You have what they call a minority government. That's if people don't make the approach, because it's not automatic, Even if, for instance, the present prime minister ends up with only the support of, let's say, 5 members of the House of Representatives. If the other 10 do not go to the Governor General and say, hey, we want to remove this guy, he no longer has our support. If the majority of members do not go and do that, then they can continue running a government as a minority government, because you've had cases of that in the Westminster system before, where you have minority governments. The prime minister lost the support of the majority members, but they just decided they didn't want to bring down the government. So while they no longer support and they may become independent members, etc., they did not go to the Governor General, or in some cases the president, and say, we no longer support the prime minister and we support this person instead. Yeah? So that's a constitutional question, though, yeah.
Yes, boy. You need a lawyer on the program, because
believe me, I ain't no lawyer. Just talking from what I remember.
What would happen now? Because remember, most of our ministers are parliamentarians. So if these people who have won their seats, I want people to listen carefully, the people who have won their seats and are ministers now, let's say they decide, I'm not supporting the prime minister now. So as you just explained, so would it be that he would now have to replace, let's say 3 or 4 of them gone, So would he now have to replace those 3 or 4 ministers, or just split the portfolios across who is remaining?
I'm trying to grasp the question. Give me the last part of it again.
Okay, the prime minister. Okay, right. So let's say I have certain parliamentarians who are ministers, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the government side. So if they lost or lose confidence in the prime minister as it stands right now, and they decide to cross the floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would no longer be ministers, technically.
Well, that's if they cross the floor and become a part of the other party, yeah? So they support the other party. But if they do that without going to the Governor General, if they just become independents, as what has happened in some instances, it doesn't force an election. But if they do that in the context of they just cross the floor and they don't go to the Governor General, there's no election. If they cross the floor and they let the Governor General know, no Prime Minister wants to go into a parliament when you have the minority support. You can't pass anything. You have to go to a general election. I saw it happen in Trinidad before. That they went into a situation where it was an even number, and every single bill come to parliament. Nothing could go through parliament. No law could be passed, anything, because you had an even number of people on both sides.
So something like that happened the last time with Tillman Thomas government.
Well, he was effectively operating a minority government because he had lost the support of the majority of members on his side. It was not a case that these members got together and went to the Governor General and said so. If they had done that, he would have had to call the election much earlier than he did.
Okay, man. Thanks for your explanation.
Yeah, no problem. Right, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. And as a good friend of mine just reminded me, and I need to make that statement, of course, the Governor General could fire the Prime Minister, but a Prime Minister cannot fire a Governor General. Let me say it again. The Governor General could fire a Prime Minister, but there is no way under the Constitution that and this one is Constitution, there is no way that the Prime Minister can fire a Governor General. You can ask them nicely to demit office. If they decide they're in demitting office, that's your business. They're staying right there. Yeah? So you can ask them nicely. They may decide, hey, me want to stay under that government, and so on they go. Right? Or they may decide, nah, stay in. Right? So it is up to that person. So the Governor General cannot be fired by the Prime Minister. Right? There may be, and I need to research that, there may be circumstances that can call for the removal of a Governor General. There may be. I don't think I've ever researched that. I've never read that. But there may be circumstances for that. And I would check that. But there are various circumstances under which you can remove a Prime Minister. So again, if they've lost the majority support, and these people have expressed such in a letter to the Governor General that, hey, we no longer support individual A as Prime Minister, now we support this person, the next person isn't just immediately sworn in. There's a time frame of, I think, 72 hours or so, 3 days, within which the person who has lost the support of the majority of members can decide that they're dissolving Parliament immediately and they're calling a general election, right? And there have been instances of that happening before. Folks, that is all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. And as I said, we intend to do some work in studio tomorrow, so I'm not guaranteeing that we will have the Friday night forum. Maybe I might have to do a Saturday forum sometime next week or so to make up for it. But I'm not guaranteeing that we'll have the Friday night forum tomorrow. All right? So in everything you say and everything you do, do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. And just in case we do not have a program tomorrow night, want to remind you all, breakfast sale, Melville Street in front of Republic Bank, Saturday morning. Right? NNP Women's Arm, St. George Northeast. Cake sale, Nexa New Dimensions. Check them at the Panyard, Saturday. Barbecue sale, up in Voley Gap by Paul Shop from 11 o'clock on Saturday. 6 o'clock in the morning Saturday, Sauters Bus Terminal, St. Patrick West Constituency Branch, they are having their breakfast. Sunday, all roads lead to Grand Mall, NNP Lime. And on Easter Monday, right, D&G, together with the New National Party, the Garden Party down there at 1 Shaney Lane, Lansapine, right, starting at 5 p.m. Folks, I am out of here, and in the same way that I've started the week, I think it is important for me to end the week. Well, if we are ending the week in the same way. As I said, keep checking with the Facebook page. We'll make a final decision by 12 o'clock according to how the work goes. We'll make a final decision by 12 o'clock. My name is Sheldon Scott. I am out of here.
Hear the voice. Alex Source and the wall here. Come revive. There is a home. Oh, golden city. Right mansion away spill. In the sky. Oh, you can enter this golden city. Just repent and be baptized. There is a home. Oh, golden city. Right mansion away spill. In the sky. Oh, you can enter the golden city. Just repent and be. There is a home, there is a home. There is a home, happy paradise. There is a home, there is a home.